Okay, it's right up on the hour, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Tonight's topic, the first thing I want to discuss is the fact that we have cut over to the two-tier program. We've had no glitches with cutting over, so that's been really great. We are now moving forward 20% first-tier commissions, 5% second-tier commissions, which gives you great incentive to go out there and build a network of marketing partners. Of course, it's not mandatory. You don't have to do that. That's really just for the folks that are possibly already in the affiliate marketing space. Those of you that are already involved or desirous to build a network, there's great money if you do that. That said, you can still make great money even if you're not a marketer, even if you have a busy, hectic life, even if you are reporting to a day job 5 days a week, and you really can't dedicate too much time to peak. That's cool because there's something for everybody with this program. I want to introduce my partner, the person that is provisioning all these corporations and the person who helped mastermind this corporate program, Mr. Bill Ebert. Good evening to you, sir.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the call. Excited to be here.
Glad to have you with us.
It's a beautiful day in North Carolina.
Yeah. It's a hazy day, a hazy, cloudy day here in Manila, but still an awesome day because every day is 88 degrees here. The other thing I want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, is before we officially get started, the second thing that we're going to cover is, many folks on this call are international. Many of you folks are not U.S. citizens. You're here for the corporate program, and there's a lot of sizzle and excitement about the corporate program, but there's tons of money to be made. And our program exists based on our Pay It Forward program, which is essentially where we're helping people get their credit repaired. And many of the foreigners especially, but probably a lot of people on this call, no matter where you live, still don't understand 100% how we make money and how automated the system is and the ease of use that we've put in the system to move your people through the sequence to get them into personal funding, to get their credit repaired. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but first I want to thank you, Bill, for all the hard work that you've been doing. Cutting over to the two-tier, maintaining the software, making sure that all the security is there and everything's working great. Congratulations! We cut over officially last week, and everything's been running smoothly. Yes.
Yes, everything's fine. We actually have already pre-written the two-tier and multi-tier system, so it wasn't that hard. We just needed to make sure that there were no glitches on payday, because the number one thing that makes people mad is getting their paycheck wrong.
Yeah,
you can be forgiven of just about everything else in this business, but don't send them their paycheck 2 days late or have it wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely double-checked, and triple-checked, and we're ready to go.
We had, our second official commission run, and we had some people make some pretty hefty commissions. There were some folks that sold full corps. Congratulations to you. There are many, many people that are making great supplementary income as well. Folks that are just, working part-time and making a great income. Some of you are rolling those commissions back into getting more stakes, and some of you have decided to take the money. I'm excited. The more money that I see us paying out, the more excited I get, because I know the more people that we're touching, and then I know the more fans that we have, the more dedicated marketers that we have, the more money that goes out, the more money that we make. So it's always exciting for me on commission day. So to make it official on this video, we are now fully two-tier, and we have also made the upgrade to the minimum of 500 USD. So I had a lot of checks that were sent in the middle to the end of last month that we're just now clearing because, Bank of America makes a 10-day mandatory holding period. So I saw some $200 checks in there. But moving forward, if we get anything less than 500, we're going to have to reject it and send it back because, that's just what the program is now. The minimum is 500 because there's so much massaging of data.
Lost your audio.
Oh, really? Maybe for you? Everyone else hear me? Go ahead and type in chat if you can hear me. Yes. Okay, good. The other thing is that we had an international wire that came in. I think the person was trying to send 500, but they only sent 475. So it's really important, folks, that you look at the conversion fees when you're sending international wires. Sometimes the bank that you're doing business with has a different conversion fee than you might think. Some banks are a little greedy, and it makes it very difficult for us on the accounting side if we get 25 bucks less than the allocated amount, because we need to split these blocks up evenly. I'll give you an example. There's 20 blocks in a corporation now, 2,500 blocks. Forgive me, 4,500 blocks. And if you send 475, it's got to come from somewhere. So be very alert and aware when you're sending money internationally and making conversions that it's better to send just a little bit more than the allocated amount than less. Bill, I wanted to show the good people how much they can earn on the credit repair side, how much they can earn when folks go into personal funding. And eventually I'm coming out with a pretty graphic that we're going to put in the back office, but if you could show them that, there we go. I'm going to turn it over.
Yeah, so you guys can hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
So, a lot of people are on the call for the corporate funding side of things. Our core business, and probably I would say at least 60% of what we do is on the personal funding side. The corporate side is definitely growing pretty fast. But we do a lot of business on the personal funding. So we ask people to come with whatever credit score they have. So this is only for U.S. residents, of course, because we can't fix credit scores overseas. So we fix whatever credit score they have, whether they can pay for it or we pay for it for them. So there's little to no out-of-pocket fees for the people who need their credit repaired. And once they qualify going through that program, we pay for it, then they pay us back on the back end. But when they get funded, we have a top tier, a first tier commission of $1,000 for every $150,000 in funding that they get. Of course, if they make $100,000, it's less. If they make $200,000, it's more. But that's just a good round number. $150,000, the average funding. So we pay you on tier one $1,000 for every person you bring to us that goes through funding. We also pay you $200 on the credit repair application. So if they go through credit repair first, you'll make $200 on that. And then when they get funded, you'll make another $1,000 there. So there's $1,200 for a single customer. And then $500 for second tier for the commission, and $100 for the credit repair. We've only been paying the credit repair commissions once they go through funding. We just want to make sure, since we have hard money lenders, that we're not taking money from the hard money people. We may be making a change to that soon. We might, once we start seeing some numbers and statistics, we might start paying this a little bit sooner, as soon as a person goes into credit repair. Right now, it looks like most people are going through, so there's very little chance that we're actually going to lose any money on that. So we just didn't want to pay out a bunch of commissions for something, and there was still the potential that the customer would back out for some reason. But since most people aren't backing out, we'll let you know how that works out. But right now, we're paying you that commission as soon as they go through funding. That's basically the broker commission. We're gonna, like Tom said, we're gonna actually have this in a graphic for you guys, so you can see if you want to do bigger deals or more deals. Most people are only going to bring onesie twosies to the table, but for those of you who actually want to bring 5, 10, 20, even 100 deals, you can see there's actually override and bonus commissions on top of that. We don't want to waste a bunch of people's time explaining all those. You guys can just read it at your own convenience. Screenshot it now if you want it, or just find it in the Facebook group. So that's how the commission structure works for the personal funding side.
I also want to talk about, I've seen some folks advertising. One guy was advertising, get your credit repair at no cost. And I had to correct him in a private message. I said, we've been saying nothing out of pocket, but there is a cost, but it's nothing out of pocket, which means that it's painless for you to get started. Now, when we originally coined that phrase, which was, a long time ago, we hadn't had experience yet that some people will take the nothing out of pocket expense and get their credit repaired, but not go into funding. So what we've learned from experience is that if people don't have some skin in the game, then they just don't fully commit. They just take the freebie and they're like, thank you very much, So what we've initiated is a minimum of $200. So to give you the mechanics, we pay $2,500 for the person to get their credit repaired. When they go into funding, they pay us back double. So from that initial $2,500, we're asking the person that wants their credit repaired to come and put at least $200 into the equation. Some people have balked at that, and I say, look, if you know where you can get your credit repaired in 45 days or less and get to a fundable credit score of 720, and you can get it done cheaper than $200, by all means, go do that. And by the way, let me know who you're working with, because we'd like to work with them. And so what we found is if someone is willing to put at least $200 into the thing, then they're gonna go all the way, and then nobody wastes their time. There's nothing worse than working with someone and taking time out of your life to move them forward, and then they just back out of the deal, and then everybody's time is wasted, but they get the benefit of having their credit file massaged. So I hope you guys can relate to that and understand. Some people have frowned on that, but like really it's a positive thing, because again, there's a lot of junk out there in the credit world. There's a lot of people making claims that they can't deliver on, and we have the proof, we have the track record that we've been delivering on this credit repair side. And to post $200 to get into a funding position in less than 45 days, especially for people whose credit is really, really tough, that's an incredible thing. Yeah. Okay. Also, we're going to do some question and answers. So if folks want to type their questions into chat, we'll go ahead and handle those. Our members notified when their corp reaches 20K. The short answer is yes. Bill, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, so the way that it works out is we wait till we get to 20K, and we're doing about 1 or 2 a week now. So it doesn't take long for a person to get notified. If it closes out before a Tuesday, by that Friday, people get a paycheck and everyone is notified. This is the name of your corporation. This is how many people are involved in it. And then within, I'd say right now it's working about a week, maybe 10 days, we'll have all the corporate documents and the folder set up, and then everyone gets a copy of the folder that we share out to everybody. So there's a Google Doc and a Google folder. And so you're going to see the articles of incorporation, you're going to see the process, you're going to see the website. And so as everything gets built out, it gets dropped in that folder, and you guys will get notified through the process. And a lot of it happens in that first 20 days. There's a lot of files that get done, and the IEN numbers, and it just goes on. There's so much stuff that gets done in the first 20 days. And then after that, it's just hurry up and wait. You know, we wait for the credit lines to show up, and we season the corporation in the bank account, and you guys get notified at every step along the way. You can even, if you understand Google Docs and Google Drive, you can actually you can set up a notification on that drive anytime something changes. You can set it up so that you can stay current with what's going on, or you can just wait for us to do our monthly update calls and let you know.
Any other questions?
When does the 120-day period start? It starts the day we pay commissions. That's when we start the clock. You know, we've had a few that took a little bit longer because we had the person in charge. You guys don't want to know all the problems related with trying to build out 25 corporations at the same time. But just needless to say that you'll run into an occasional pause or a glitch. You know, go and try and start up a bank account in the name of a brand new corporation and see how much grief some banks give you. We have the USSR of California won't let you set up a bank account without 2.5 gallons of blood and sacrifice 3 chickens. So we decided not to open up any corporations in California.
Interesting. Since the cutover, Mike, personally, there's really been no slowdown. I've had some people grumble, but as far as seeing deposits and momentum and everything's been fine. The truth is, you know, what we're offering is so incredible that the difference between 200 and 500 really shouldn't be a big difference. And the other thing, you know, somebody was kind of trying to appeal to our sense of charity in the group, and they were saying, look, what about people that are in these third world countries, and you know, it's everything that they can do to put $200 together. And my answer to that is, well, you know, I can relate to what it's like to struggle and not have a lot of money, and I can relate to what it's like being in a third world country, because I'm in an emerging market now. I'm in a country where there's a lot of people struggling. What I would say is that everybody has to get good at, you know, building their network and tapping in to the pools of people on social media that are in a position where this program, you know, they don't sneeze at that $500. You know, I've seen people here in the Philippines in Bitcoin programs bring in, you know, really big hitters. And so, you know, while my heart goes out to anyone struggling, you know, we are a business that for profit, and you know, we're not a charity. Even though Bill and I are both charitable, we're not a charity. We've got to make money, and you know, the administrative side of this business is so taxing, so tedious, that it just doesn't make sense for us to be chasing around $200 deposits. And also, you know, the cost of sending wires kind of figures into that equation as well. Bill, you have anything to add to that?
No, you know, one of the things that we tell people, it seems like whether it's a $25 program or a $20,000 program, there's always a way. I mean, if you really want to, just recruit a couple of people, make the kind of, you know, it doesn't take long to make $500. We had a guy make $10,000 in week one, and we've had one guy make consistently $5,000 or $6,000 a week since he started. And you know, he's not a heavy hitter marketer. It's a great story. Learn the story, go out and tell it, make the $500, and get in that way.
Yeah, Gord, to answer that question, we used to say 90 to 120 days, but, you know, the 90 days never started or ended. It was just kind of like nomenclature. It was just kind of words we were using. We were saying 90 to 120 days. Now we're firm on the 120 days. And all of the marketing. And that's the other thing, you know, I've updated, you know, the video. There's no mention of investment, because obviously what we do here isn't you know, selling an investment. We don't consult on investments. We're doing joint ventures here. We have a product that we sell for a retail sale, and then we provide a service, which is, you know, doing the corporate workups. So anyway, yeah, the 120 days is firm, and all of the branding on the site, all of the content on the site is in line with that. Can we pay it forward someone into peak using our commissions? Absolutely, you can. Absolutely, Sir Peter. That's either that's something that we'll have to handle personally, so you can IM me, or anyone listening to this video. If that's something you want to do, just start a service ticket, and we'll make sure that you know, whatever you allocate gets applied. Any other questions? Yeah, someone says the audio is out of order. So sometimes the internet here in the Philippines is tweaky, even though I pay for the most expensive, fastest package. I apologize for that if anyone's having trouble hearing me or if I'm cutting in and out. Bill, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Okay. Does the 120 days start when you receive our funds? No. As Bill said, Bill, you want to say it again?
Yeah, so we count it from every deal that closes on a Tuesday. So if we gather money through the weekend and we get all the money deposited and cleared by Tuesday, we'll start the 120 days at that time. That following Friday is when we pay all the commissions, and it basically starts that week. So your 120 days starts right about that. And one of the things you guys are going to see in the contract is the 120 days. It's kind of the far side of the agreement. You know, we could close sooner, you know, if everything looks good and we get everything done and we get our processes done sooner. You know, 120 days might be on the outside.
Very, very cool. Are there any other questions? What is the average in funding received, Mr. Bill? I assume you're talking about corporate funding, Peter?
Yeah, the average in personal funding is about $150,000. On the corporate side of things, we're working with 3 different vendors right now, and they all promise. One guy promises us $350,000 to $500,000. We haven't seen that yet. That's actually, we're getting ready to close on our first couple deals. We'll see if he can actually produce those kind of dollars. Our goal is to get a minimum of 60K. And that's actually pretty easy to do. So 60K is the minimum we want to get so that everybody gets paid back and we have enough money to start doubling and start making some money in the company. So anything between 60 and 300K, we're happy as clams.
Okay, yeah. So the question is, how do I buy another position with commission? And we explained that in the last webinar, Bill. Well, why don't you share it with them again?
Best way to do it is, you're going to receive your commission check. Just go ahead and write void across the front of it. Email it to Tom or myself, and we'll go ahead and apply the payment toward your next payment. All you have to do is set up a new application in the back for the same dollar amount. Say paid with voided check, and we'll go ahead and credit the account for you. Or if you know it's coming up and you know how much you're going to get paid on the next payroll, we can avoid that whole step just by saying that you want to apply it, and we'll apply it automatically for you. How many corps are we building out at the moment? We are in the middle of 26 corporations right now. How many corps do you think one person can have? Well, that's kind of a question. How many licks to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop? Yeah. You don't really know the answer to that question yet. It's more of a logistics thing. Legally, you can own as many corporations as you can manage. You follow the rules, and there's a lot of stuff you have to do right. You don't want to just set up a bunch of corporations and go through funding, because if you don't do it right, it's considered bank fraud, and there's a whole lot of really, there's some sticky stuff you want to do. But if you do it right and you can logistically handle it, there are people that have 100 corporations. Bill Gates probably has 500 corporations out there and trusts and all kinds of, you can set up as many as you want.
Peter wants to get at least 100, right, Peter? Any other questions? Okay. I think we covered it all. I have no problem with doing a short webinar. We try to do these as often as necessary. Moving forward, as I said, we're two-tier now. Oh, by the way, I've got some new capture pages that will be coming out. I have a capture page dedicated to the personal funding side. I'll be making a capture page that's going to be dedicated to the credit repair side. So right now you have one capture page, and it's the corporate program. So that capture page has the corporate video that I did talking about, this two-tier program that most everybody is here and participating in. But, there's other sides to the business, and some people want to put their focus on the credit repair. Other people like the thought of personal funding. So those capture pages will be coming out this week. Of course, I'll be keeping everybody updated in the Facebook group. They look nice. They look really professional and pretty. They should do very well at converting, because this isn't my first rodeo. I put a video in the Facebook group a few days ago showing how you can use the corporate site with your affiliate ID. If you haven't tried that yet, go over to the Facebook group under announcements. There's a video there where I'm showing, how, what you have to paste onto the existing corporate URL, and then you can use the entire site. I don't recommend that you do that because I think that people get lost. I think that people start clicking around on link after link, and what you really want to do is hold their hand. And the best thing to do is enroll them manually. You can go over to the enroll link and you can sign them up manually while you're talking to them on the phone or while you're chatting with them on Facebook, and then just ask them their email address and then hit submit. And then that's the best way to do it. Be real personable with the folks that you're bringing into this thing. You want to build strong relationships in this industry, because the better that you bond with people, the stronger your network is going to be, and the more loyalty you're going to have with your team moving forward. When I first got into this industry, I saw some of the big network marketers. They had constituents that just followed them into everything that they did. And I'm not saying that they were doing pump and dumps. I'm saying that they just had such strong relationships. Look, when people are making money with you, when you help solve someone's problem, their problem is time, freedom, and money, and you help solve that, you've got a friend for life. Peter and I were talking earlier this week. We're starting to get to know each other, and Peter's been taking the journey with Peak Funding, and he's got a lot of dreams and a lot of desire and a lot of plans that he's pinning on Peak Funding, and he's swinging for the fences. He sold a full corp a few weeks ago. And it's a beautiful thing. So I know over time, Peter and I are going to remain fast friends. And, hopefully, we take this journey together. I always say together we go, together we grow. So you want to hold people's hand when you introduce them to this thing if you can. and dedicate the time that it takes to help someone get their personal and professional breakthrough, because again, that's what builds a strong network. You got anything to add to that, Bill?
No, if there's no more questions, I'll let you guys get back to your life.
Appreciate each and every one of you. I'll be updating everyone in the Facebook group for the next one. This one's over and out. God bless everyone.
See you guys.